Good to see you, Subham. All right. And Anand, good to see you as well. Awesome. Gents, while we wait for a couple of others to join, what's new? How's school? How are the girlfriends? I knew you guys would be too shy to talk about your girlfriends. Nikhil, hey, how are you?
Yes, sir.
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you too, sir.
Well, Garish is having audio problems, I think, but we only have about 35 minutes, so we may as well jump into some things that you guys have been working on. Who'd like to go first? Who'd like to speak about what they've got going on?
Actually, sir, I had a doubt. Last week, you reopened the docs menu of issue. So I didn't get that. Why is it reopened?
Yeah, let me see if I can pull that one up. It was on the docs?
Yeah.
Okay, that was about the menu being off? Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Okay, I'll share that link in here and share the screen. Let's see. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen now. This is issue number 216, the docs navigation menu being out of whack. So if we browse to it, I'm in Safari, and so you can see that the menu is still off. If you guys bring up the docs in Chrome, and I'm doing it right now.
Yes, sir.
Yep, it still shows as being off, and so I think that's why I reopened. I think last time we
Yes, sir, actually. So am I audible?
And then Nikhil, you go ahead.
Yeah, am I audible, sir? Hello.
Yep, I can hear you.
Yeah, actually the thing is that the menu problem is not only in Safari, in all the browsers, actually it is not off. Thing is that the template that we are using, just the docs, there's some issue with that. Yeah, I'll try to figure out what the issue is, but when we are hosting it on the localhost, we are running the page, the docs page, it is running fine. But when it is on the remote server, the template is not looking good. It's the way it is coming up right now.
Yeah, okay. Let me see. Let me see if I can show you something. I don't know if the Wayback Machine, it doesn't look like it has any archives for our documentation. But what I was going to show is that previously, a few weeks ago, when we initially published, and for many times after we had made updates, the navigation menu was up here. And so something has, I think to your point, something within GitHub has changed, affecting this theme that we're using, the Just the Docs theme. If I recollect, last time we spoke, I think we had two suggestions on potentially how to solve the issue. One suggestion from you was the first one to go try because it was the easiest thing to attempt to do and to just see if that fixed it. And that was inside of the docs. Bear with me a moment. Inside of the docs, inside of the Jekyll's config. Oh no, I'm sorry. Not inside of Jekyll's config, but inside of the gem file for this Jekyll site. If memory serves, I think the suggestion was to potentially bump this rev number. Do you guys know what the latest version of Jekyll is?
4.0.
4.2, is that what you said?
4.0, 4.0.
Nice, okay. And so we would do well to just upgrade to the latest version of Jekyll and see if that fixes our issue. Like that's a fairly quick fix, right? To make a quick PR against this guy. I think that's the first thing to attempt and try. And I'll just make a quick note on the issue. Okay. That may solve the issue. If it doesn't, or two might be, this one's a little bit more involved, but it would be the notion that of what we're using, of the Just the Docs theme that we're using, is to take and clone that locally. Just the Docs, wherever this is. And rather than having GitHub reach out and pull in that dependency as GitHub does the Jekyll build, we would just copy and move most of these assets over into our repo, and in our repo probably stop referencing in our config.yaml, we would probably stop referencing just the docs as an external theme. Rather, we would probably comment this out and or rather, I think we'd probably comment this out as a remote theme. We would just use our own local theme. Garish, can you characterize that any differently? Am I saying
No,
that?
that's precise. So essentially, what's happening is, I'm just going to rephrase what Lee said. Essentially, we are leveraging GitHub Pages functionality, which will kind of download the theme files automatically, when it's deploying. Now that's kind of where we are having issues. So maybe in order to override that, we don't tell GitHub what theme you're using, but rather we just place the theme files, which, for example, Nikhil, so if you tried a version on your local and that works, then you should be able to grab the CSS JavaScript files and put them in the right place, so that I think that will solve all the issues. I mean, that's one shot.
Sorry, sir, I didn't get actually the issue with the battery.
Sorry, can you repeat that? Sorry, did anybody else hear that better?
No.
So essentially, like, I'm sorry, I was just reading your comment of there for a second, Lee. We probably might not have to clone the repo because if we clone the repo now, what's going to happen is the files, the JavaScript CSS files, will actually be uncompressed. We probably don't want them. We just need the compressed one. So if Nikhil runs, this site on his local, the Jekyll build would have downloaded the theme files and put it in the right folders under underscore site or something, like, I mean, you should be able to find, like, some just the docs files. I can send you some samples. Once we have those files, all we need to do is just commit them in our repo and comment out the theme references in our config YAML, and hopefully that will take care of the rest. Hopefully, I mean, keeping fingers crossed.
Okay, sir. I'll have a look.
Nice. So Nikhil, yeah, if you try step number 1 and that works, then we're probably good. We're probably good. And if it doesn't work, then yeah, you can move to step number 2. Cool. Great question, man. I'm glad that you brought that up. Okay, what else, guys? I think, Subham, you're ready for something new, if I recall?
Yeah, I have done my last step. Yeah.
Good deal. Now, I know we've been trying to kind of get a DevOps-centric piece of work your way. I hesitate to, I think we want to mention 2 things. One is a piece of DevOps work that you might have success with, and then separate from that, I think it's a low priority thing, but I think it's good for you to cut your teeth on. I mean, for you to learn on. And then we want to describe a different piece of work that would add functionality to Meshery. So the first one, Garish, do you have, maybe you could just create a quick, I think we have an issue already, but it's for the GitHub notifications of GitHub stars. I think.
Right. I'm actually putting some comment there. I'm actually, I mean, like, collecting some pieces. So hopefully, like, by the time you describe it to him, like, I'll have it ready, hopefully.
So Subham, I know you and I talked about Lambda and serverless functions and things, and that will work for this. Garish had come across a bit, well, now that we're using GitHub Actions, or about to be using GitHub Actions, Garish has identified what's probably an easier path to having GitHub send notification into Meshery's Slack. And so he's going to put some details into this particular issue.
So that's like a work in progress. So there are 2 links in that document, which will be helpful. Lee, can you actually open the 2, like, which is this and here? I mean, I'm still, like, typing the rest. Yeah, this is actually the. So this is a post to Slack GitHub action. So this can actually help posting messages to Slack. But what should we post to Slack is actually it's our discretion. Now, one good thing about it is, or the other thing is that the GitHub actions, the way they work is there is a trigger and then there is this action. So now this is the action. So we need a trigger to actually take it at the right instance and post a message to the Slack channel. So if you can go back and click the second link, you will find the list of events that GitHub Actions listen on. And if you scroll down to in that table, the last event is probably the one we want, because it talks about starring the repo. Yeah, so watch is actually the event we need.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah. So watch is actually the name of the event. Now, once this event is actually fired, then we should be able to, so yeah, it says triggered when someone stars a repo. So it's something we should probably try. And interestingly, we have another repo, which I can send information to Shubham on right during this call or after, where I am actually playing with GitHub Actions. So maybe I can send you some samples, etc. I'll see if I can actually put more information into this issue, so that when you come to it, it'll be much more easier.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Subham, we didn't hear you. Can you chat? Send that over chat. Nice. Okay. Garish, you just said he'll check it out.
Awesome.
Very good. And then moving over to Anand, and so Subham, I think this is good and will be helpful. I think you're going to find a slight challenge as you initially go to create a Slack app. You may be able to do it in your own organization, under your own user in your own org. Once you send that out, you're right. That microphone is. Hey, Garish, if I can grab the mute button.
Sorry.
So Subham, yeah, you may want to try to create a Slack app in your own organization, in your own personal org. And kind of once you've worked through this, you would then come and create a Slack app in the Layer 5 IO org. As you create that Slack app in your organization, you're absolutely welcome to just, it'll ask for authorization probably to send messages into the Meshery Slack, and that's no problem. We'll approve that as you get to that step. So, and then the same thing for when you go to create a Slack app in the Layer 5 IO, or we'll approve that as you get to that step. So. Nice. Okay. Okay. So going over to Anand. Anand, I think you're working through an open pull request to enhance the user experience here. The implementation that you delivered, I think, delivers on it functionally delivers on the ask, which is good. Like I compiled this mesheryctl binary, this version, your branch, and tried it out, and yep, it waited for a couple of seconds and opened up my browser, and it was a great experience. It worked well. I think we've identified a couple of items in there. One of which was maybe don't sleep if you don't have to, kind of a thing. And so I think you understand that already, and I think you're working on some of these enhancements. And so I wanted to bring it up to see if you had any questions or point of discussion on this. Okay. Cool. Anand, I'm excited for you on this PR. You're getting into some hairy things. It's great. I think this is good. It's quite important too, as we go to very soon switch from Meshery Python to mesheryctl as the official project's CLI. So this is good. So maybe Anand, we won't talk about other work for the moment, just because I think you're engrossed here. But tell me if you're not, if you need if you could use it as another piece of work as well. Nice. So heading back over to Madhab, thanks for your the clipboard stuff that worked. Actually, it worked, and then Anand pointed out an issue that I had created when I was adding in the clipboard SVG, which I think is fixed. So I don't know if you guys have had any issues with it.
Yeah, it's worked completely fine now.
Is it? Okay. Yeah, you did a great job, man. This is it's a very light implementation. It's perfect. This, just like what Anand is working on, this actually, you guys don't know like how important this little thing is. Very, very important. Of all the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of users that Meshery should have, they're all going to come here and start here. And most of them are going to click this, and that's awesome. You don't know how many people are going to actually click this. So, Madhab, that opens you back up. Are you already on to your next thing? If so, what is that?
Yeah, I'm working on the next issue now. That icons that we have said to design the community section. I'm working on that.
Yes, that's fantastic. To beautify the contributor section.
Yeah.
Man, I've been waiting for that one. That's fantastic. That's great. Yeah, we were just looking at it. It's got all the right links, but it's kind of bland, and it kind of, at first glance, it sort of looks just like this looks. And it's not engaging, and I don't know that people know that we really want them to come join the Slack and watch the channel and all that good stuff. So I'm excited. Do you have any ideas in mind as to what you're going to do here?
Yeah, I thought I will add 4 to 5 icons according to the lines we have written. Like in the drive section, I will include a drive icon, and in the calendar section, I will add a calendar icon. That's it.
Awesome. Okay. Awesome. There's one thought actually while I was doing this right here and just adding to what you had already done. I got a chance to learn a little bit of what is it? SCSS?
Yeah, CSS. I guess.
Well, yeah, or it was kind of not SAS, but what's the other? To learn a little bit of Rish, do you know what I'm talking about? I guess it's just SAS. Anyway, while I was working on it, I ended up augmenting this main SAS file here and created a couple of variables to hold the SVGs. and then I created an on hover effect such that when you hovered over the clipboard icon that it would change in color, change the SVG color. That approach ended up being not exactly compatible with Chrome and maybe Safari, I don't remember. I think it was just Chrome. Instead, I took a different approach of just adding the SVGs as an image source, if I remember, which is, that's how these SVGs down here are done today. So anyway, as a bonus, as something you might be thinking of is, yeah, when you hover over them, it'd be great if they colorized or did something. And thinking of it now, if you do colorize it, you might be able to knock out a couple of issues at once. Because I think a different issue in there that you might be tracking, yeah, is this one, is to colorize the social buttons. So
Yeah, I saw yesterday this issue.
any thoughts or questions that, on these? And Mata, do you, I guess just to ask you for a bit of feedback, are these types of issues, are these intriguing to you? Are these helpful? Are you learning anything? Or are these boring? Or
No, I can.
actually, I didn't hear you, but were you saying they're good?
Yeah, actually, I'm having some issue with my internet. So
Nice. Okay. Great. Okay. So we're kind of coming to the top of the hour. Who needs more? Nikhil, I suspect you're gonna blow through that docs issue soon. Or do you already have something else lined up? Are you all set?
One of the issues is just regarding that push notification. So I'm working on that. I will send you a PS.
Oh, I had a hard time hearing you. You said which one?
One with the toast notification that was showing in green color, the confusion between operation submitted and operation completed.
Nice. I remember now. Beautiful. Okay. And then I guess going back to Subham, are you all good with, did you need anything other than the GitHub stars? I think this is done. Garish, do you consider that this is something that Subham might be successful with? Or is this one a little involved?
It is a little more involved. Like, I mean, we essentially have to be able to talk to the Kubernetes APIs, and yeah, it's not too hard. Like, I mean, if he is willing to do that, like, we can definitely work with him for sure. But yeah, it's not too hard though. Yeah.
Okay. What about this sample app? Like adding a new sample app?
So that'll have to be done in each of the adapter. Is that right? Sure. Fundamentally, he will have to fundamentally create a YAML and then inject it in 2 or 3 spots. like kind of like so it's not too much. He should be able to like do it. I can give him the instructions to do it, and he should be able to like do it.
Nice. Subham, this might be a more appropriate one to take on. This would be nice because it would be another application that people can install. Sounds like the work would need to be done in each adapter. It looks like he dropped off for a minute. So we'll hand this one over to Subham. And then guys, as we go to wrap up the time today, hey, has anyone spoken with Nupur or Gunjan? Do you guys know if they're planning on joining this call? Okay. Yeah, thanks, Subham. I don't know if they realize that they're very much welcome to join this call just because it's a smaller group and we're kind of focused on you guys. One thing that I would say about Gunjan, Nupur, and Ashish and others is actually the more students, the more of your friends or the more people that you know that join, the more that I hope that you guys begin to talk amongst yourselves, that you begin to teach one another and share with one another and can help. I mean, I think Anand, if you're verifying the fix for Subham's mesheryctl, how he enhanced that, that's great because you're giving him feedback. Like, and so since you guys are local and can talk at any hour that you want to, and use native tongue and all, and everything else, I'm hoping that you guys end up interfacing as much as possible. I mean, and use the tools that we have. So use the Slack that we have, interface over GitHub. I'd love to see that, like Nikhil and Madhav and Anand, as you guys are growing in your comfort level with the project, that as someone like Nupur or someone like Ashish or Gunjan, who are your junior, as they come on, I will start to look to you to onboard them, to introduce them and make them comfortable with the project and to potentially work with them on things that they're learning and doing. I think that it'll be a beautiful experience for you guys as growing mentors in your ability to coach and guide others. And it's the way in which I think at some point, that's the way that the community can scale. Because at some point we can only have so many of these calls and so much time spent. But if you guys are spending that time separately, awesome. So please think about it. I mean, maybe there's a different call that you guys want to have amongst yourselves. Or, I don't know what it is.
Sure, so that's a great idea. We'll have a talk with them, see if the interest rate is.
Thank you, Nikhil. That's great. And, you guys are doing a great job of being community ambassadors already. But as you, the more successful you are, the harder it will get. In a good way.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything that we missed today? Anything you guys want to talk about?
It's all set.
There's one other item, and I'll mention it briefly. We'll probably talk about it again, but something for you guys to think about is if there's a professor or a couple of professors or some staff that I might talk with at UEM Jaipur that might be something, that might be a connection that you guys might make. And maybe it's either an introduction or it's just telling me, hey, go to this site and look and send an email here. I'm certainly willing to spend the time to connect with the faculty and the staff to do a couple of things. One is to potentially ask that they recognize what you're doing here as either extra credit or literally as school credit, depending upon how we structure kind of the engagement, or as kind of a school recognized program. We've done this with the university here in the US, and it's worked out well. It's helped the students be recognized for their extracurricular activity. Students are recognized for their extracurricular activity in sports and other programs all the time. And so I'd love to get you guys credit in whatever form that comes. So think about that, maybe talk amongst yourselves, and we can talk more about it next week. Maybe it's not something you want me to do, and that's fine. I want to make sure that we're supporting you guys however we can. Nice. Thank you, Anad. Good, good. Thank you, Subham. Okay, cool. All right, this is good. I'm gonna go drink some more coffee. All right, okay, good. I'll see all of you on Friday. See you guys soon.
Okay, sir. Bye.
All right.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.